and she's 12. What do you think most 12-year-olds are doing? Listen to The Secret. This one means a lot to me. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. It never does. Ever, 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 ever. I am struggling with this one. You know, we get what we think about. And I think that's the most important thing that anybody can do, is to recognize what you need for your own self-care. Sometimes I'm not even sure who I am or what I'm looking at, to be honest. It's a mind F. What do you need to do? How do you need to feed your soul? How do you need to feed your body? How do you need to feed your spirit? You know, like...
It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try, but they can never take me down. Ooh, 'cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid.
Work on your mind, body.
They always bring all the lonely, but with you here, nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try, but they can never take me down. Take me down. 'Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here, nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. No. Hey you guys, what's up? Today, I'm all over the place. I didn't know what to film. I put a post or a poll on my community tab. I need to do this Q&A. I'm getting a little overwhelmed because I got a lot of questions, and yeah, I have hopefully organize them. And if I did not ask your question, it is not personal, or it's something I wasn't comfortable answering. There's that. But if I didn't and you want to reiterate your question, just leave it in the comment of this video and I'll either reply to you directly in the comments or I'll address it in my next video. But I did my best. I'm a massive scatterbrain. You know that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer them at random. I didn't organize them. I'm a Virgo. I was supposed to be an accountant. I like stuff to be organized and compartmentalized, just like me. I figured I would fold some laundry while we answer some questions, and then I just did my yoga this morning, just my regular morning routine. I'm all over the place, if I'm being honest with you, and I have tried to film this intro several times. Well, you guys can just tell. You can tell when I'm not doing well or when I am doing well. So I think my last video came up and I said, I'm okay, and I am okay, but there's just a lot going on in my brain. I'm okay, but it's hard for me to keep my thoughts straight right now. And filming doesn't feel as fluid as it normally would, and that's just because I'm all over the place internally. But we're gonna fold some laundry. I'm gonna answer some random questions that I'm just gonna go through. Again, I don't know what order they're in. I may have some repeats, I don't even know. And then I want to make some cookies, so we're gonna do that after, and maybe I'll answer questions while I'm making cookies, who knows? Or I'll just answer some more. I'll sit here and answer all of them. I don't know what's gonna happen. Welcome to Random-Ness. I've got a shit ton of laundry down here that you can't see. Question number 1. If you are a reader, what are you reading now, or something you have recently read that you would like to talk about? And the next question was, is there an update on your Crohn's and digestive issues, body acceptance? That's a big question. And I've had a few people ask me about my Crohn's. I think Alma, I think you're one of them. I don't think she minds me saying her name. Yeah, so I am not a reader. I want to be a reader. I'm one of those people, you know, like I love to buy books. I have learned to love Audible, and I have learned to accept that about myself. I used to think, you know, I wasn't as educated, or, you know, I don't know, it just didn't come across as like as valuable because I listened to Audibles, but it is, and it's fantastic. I listen to Audible while I'm driving. It's amazing. The one book that I harp all the time is The Secret. I listen to that on repeat over and over and over. And if you're interested in exploring what's out there and considering an awakening or just understanding things slightly differently, The Secret is a great place to start. I've evolved way past The Secret. A book that I love that a fellow person on this platform is also reading, hey Sarah, is The Untethered Soul. Freaking amazing, by Michael Singer. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Be ready to focus and pay attention. My God, this towel, do you see this? Do you guys remember Curves? Curves for women? I've had this towel, well, we're probably almost 20 years now. I'd say it lasted pretty well, but I just can't part with it. Like, do you guys have stuff like that? I don't want to let it go. Anyway, focus. This is going to be a long ass Q&A. I love you if you stick around. Yeah, so The Untethered Soul, I highly recommend it if you're ready to expand your mind and open up your heart to new possibilities and new ways of viewing yourself and your inner being. So yeah, that's a big one for me. I've listened to that twice now. Mel Robbins, I always talk about that. I don't listen to a lot of fiction, so that's the only thing you're not going to hear from me. I'd like to. So I was actually thinking of going to Chapters this weekend and possibly picking up something that's funny, because you know what I used to love? Some of my favorite books when I did read are the Shopaholic series. Do you know those books? I freaking love her. I love her, love her, love her. And then there was a movie that was made about it. Anyway, we'll give a little update on my Crohn's. My Crohn's is doing amazing. However, when I am under any amount of stress, my Crohn's is not doing amazing. So right now I'm noticing just a little bit more IBS issues. TMI, sorry, but I have Crohn's. So if you don't know what that is, Google it, and then you'll know why we're talking about it. Which is why for me, things like yoga and meditation and The Untethered Soul and The Secret are so vital and important in my daily life, because I truly believe you get what you think about. You get what you think about, whether that's health, finances, emotions, your physical appearance, all of those things, you get what you think about. So yeah, my Crohn's is probably in remission, is doing way better than it ever has. I still get monthly injections, which I will probably get, according to my doctor, you know, close to for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm doing good. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm doing so well that I'm putting on weight like there's no tomorrow, which again, I feel stronger, but being somebody who had an eating disorder, so you talk about, the question was like your body issues, your acceptance of yourself. I am struggling with this one. It's not helping that I haven't bought myself new clothes, so I'm trying to squeeze into my mediums, you know, and things that, you know, I had bones sticking out of before, where now I have little pieces of, you know, extra fat, which frankly my body freaking needed, especially at 41. You know, there's a certain point where I just don't feel good being so thin. We're working on it. I would say that I accept my body more now than I have my entire life. So if nothing else, I feel very good about that. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Right here on the East Coast. I have no desire to live or travel anywhere, honestly, even traveling abroad. I do want to go to the UK. I want to go to Ireland. I want to travel to those places. I want to check out the Netherlands. I want to go to Norway. There are places like that in Europe that I would love to visit, but I have a lot of anxiety about traveling, especially in the state of the world. It kind of intimidates me a little bit. So I'm not an avid traveler, but I mean, that's on my bucket list for someday to be able to do that. You know, I'd like to either I do it with my mom, or I think it would be cool. But as far as living anywhere else, no, not really. I like it here. I would live in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick. I'm open to pretty much anywhere as long as it's on the East Coast. The only other thing I considered is I've never traveled to British Columbia, which is the opposite side of Canada for me. So I live on the East Coast. BC is on the West Coast. I've always wanted to visit there, and I could see someday being a happy little hippie out there. What is your absolute favorite food? That's a hard one, but if I have to pick, I'm gonna say probably tacos. Tacos and pizza. Those are the two things I could probably live on for the rest of my life. What is something that you have never tried but want to? Either food or experience, she's asking me. I definitely have a lot of foods I want to try. I've always wanted to go to a dim sum restaurant. Never done that. That is something I would absolutely love to try. How is your health since weight loss surgery? I ask because I didn't get the surgery. However, with my restriction on food, my health is questionable. Okay. I've talked to my gastric doctor about this, or my Crohn's doctor. Believe it or not, I had a gastric bypass in the military and never had a follow-up. And when I talked to my Crohn's doctor years later, when I was getting diagnosed, my gastric doctor, she was in shock, and she's still in shock to this day to know that that was allowed to happen. Well, welcome to the Canadian Armed Forces. I believe that a lot of the reasons why I ended up with this is part of it is to do with that surgery. A lot of it is also to do with obviously my stress and things that I went through in the military, and that's what can bring it on. But I have a lot of internal gastrinal, is that even a word? Issues, because I've had a lot of surgeries on my stomach. And I think I had my appendix rupture when I was 17, then this gastric bypass surgery. So yeah, my health is good though. And like I said, and I'm not trying to, this is not going to come out right, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, we get what we think about. So I don't obsess about it anymore. Obviously, how do you not obsess about something when you're in pain and you're suffering? I understand that as well. Listen to The Secret. That's all I can say. Listen to The Secret. There's also a Secret to Health book on Audible. It just really helps with acceptance and choices that we make and how we think and how we process. So, I'm going to say who this is from because I absolutely freaking love this woman. Tammy, I love you. Cluttered Mother. She asked me, what's the hardest thing about vlogging? Also, you are so stinking beautiful and I just love you. The hardest thing about blogging is is waking up every day. Like she does practically daily vlogs. I think about, you know, the other daily vloggers that I watch, and it just blows my mind that people can do this every day. And I'm trying to lately. I've been trying to get into the zone. The thing about vlogging, the more you do it, the more fluid you become at it, and you kind of get into a momentum and a routine. The second you stop, and you have to, or at least I do, these women who are doing it every day blow my mind. I take too much of a rest and I cannot seem to pick back up. I think, yeah, the hardest thing about vlogging for me is just is waking up and feeling motivated and inspired to talk to nobody all day. Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me, just wanting to. Are you still loving your new home? Oh, I manifested this. I manifested my last home. You know, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. This house is my dream. This is my dream. I am living in my dream neighborhood. My neighbors are freaking fantastic. I'm not listening to dirt bikes and all these rowdiness in an apartment building across the street in our old house that used to get really rowdy. Prostitutes. I'm not saying I lived in like this really bad part of town, but there was some sketchy stuff that was going on while we were there. So yeah, I love this house. I am eternally grateful for this house. There's a lot of things that need to be improved or fixed. It needs a new roof and I'm pushing it as far as I can because I ain't got 10 grand right now. This is a lot of house for us, but I'm in love with it. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't know how else to express it. I love filming in here. I love cooking in here. I would love more storage. As big as this home is, and when you see my kitchen, everything is stuffed to the gills and nothing is organized very well. I don't know if that's user error though. Do you know what I mean? That could be my problem. Anybody else might come into this kitchen and be able to whip it into shape and maintain it. Well, ADHD, it's hard. It's hard. The other part of that question was two other parts to that question was, how is my family doing? And will I be doing regular videos? My family's great. They don't want to be in my videos and that's fine. I understand that. So you don't see them very much. My daughter's just, you know, when she was younger, when I first started my channel, she liked to participate because it was fun and she was little and there were no ramifications. But now that she's like 12 and going on 18, you know, I get to show her backpack in her hand sometimes. It's exciting. And that's okay. I totally respect that. When I don't want to be filmed, I don't want to be filmed. Jamie has no interest in being on the camera anymore. He's never been on social media for a few years. So he just doesn't want his face out there. And I respect that as well. This is something that I have chosen to become a part of. I have chosen to expose myself to hate. I have chosen all of these things. They didn't choose that, right? So sometimes I was a little worried that, you know, my content might get redundant and boring just looking at my mug all the time. But if it is redundant and boring for you, just unsubscribe and see you later. And yeah, as far as regular videos, I think I'm kind of doing it. It's been a few weeks now. I'm going on like 4 weeks of posting at least 3 times a week. So I'm pretty happy with that. And if I can maintain that, that would be great. If I do more, that's great too. As far as committing to like a schedule and that regular, that will never be me. I think that's what burnt me out the first time is I used to like have a what's for dinner every Friday. So then I would panic like, well, I didn't make enough meals this week. And then I would be making meals for my family that we didn't even want to eat because we were full and we had 2 days of leftovers in the fridge already. So I've reined in a lot of that. That's it. Oh, Melissa says, I've been watching you since before you had 100 subscribers. That's an OG. That's an OG because the fact that you stuck around, like I said, it was really cringy. Just go watch my first video. Actually, go watch my first video and compare it to now because man, my face was like... All right, this one is from Angela. I don't think she'll mind me saying her name. She always comments on my videos. I absolutely adore you. Have you watched any new movies or shows lately? And if so, what? Okay, so movies, I'm always watching movies on Prime and Netflix, and I can't remember the names of any of them. And sometimes Belle and I will be scrolling through and I'll see a movie and I'll be like, oh, wait, no, I saw that. Oh, I was wondering what that was called. But anyway, I love horror movies. You guys know that. I'm obsessed with a horror movie and even B movies. Like, they're so good. I haven't seen Megan yet. That's one that I want to see. As far as shows, The Peripheral. Have you guys checked that out on Prime? That's weird. And it took me a little while to get around to it, but now that I really like it, there's only like 6 or 8 episodes in the season. I hate that. I hate that. Yellowstone, that's an OG. I love Yellowstone. Belle and I tried watching Gossip Girl. We got through to the 5th season and got so bored by it by the 5th season, we haven't even finished it. You is coming back out. I think, is it out or is it coming out? Anyway, I keep seeing it flash up on my, is it Netflix? Yeah, on Netflix. So I'm really, when that comes out, we will binge watch that. And the only other thing that we are watching right now and rewatching is The Walking Dead. And I know some of you have opinions about what Belle should or should not be watching. Don't worry about it. I'm a good parent. She's been watching The Walking Dead since she was 3 years old. Her mom was an aspiring makeup artist. I used to do face painting and special effects makeup. I used to do zombie walks and stuff. So I always walked around the house looking like a zombie and putting wounds and gaps in my face and playing with latex and shit. So this kid has seen it all since she was 3 years old and she freaking loves it. Okay, so don't come at me. It hasn't desensitized her. It just makes her realistic. She knows it's makeup. She knows exactly what it is. And she's 12. What do you think most 12-year-olds are doing? If you think they're not doing anything, then you're naive. Anyway. But yeah, we're rewatching The Walking Dead and I couldn't be freaking happier because I kind of forgot a lot of it. You know, like I didn't even remember when certain things were happening or certain characters. So it's really exciting for me. I think I watched a lot of it when she was first born too. So anyway, yeah. The Walking Dead, that's what we're pretty much watching. And I watched that 90s show. Yeah, that 90s show. It's getting a lot of bad reviews. It's getting like, oh, this is so chill, so corny and stupid. Yeah, it is. And I loved it. Am I planning any getaways in the near future for 2023? No, I haven't had a getaway in years. I don't even know what that means. When I get away, it's to go to my sister's or to my mom's 4 hours away from here. Would you consider posting yourself performing and playing guitar and singing on YouTube? I have done that and I do consider it. Musicality or playing the guitar, it comes in waves for me and it's like a creative intuition that kind of comes and goes. It was here a couple weeks ago, it's disappeared again. And I don't honestly know when it's going to come back. When I am feeling a lot of things like I am lately, it kind of disappears, which is when I guess for a lot of people it would resurface when you feel the need, you know, you're sad, you create. Not me. If you won the lottery, what would be your first purchase? My first purchase? I would just pay off my vehicles in my house. That would be my first purchase. But once that's paid off, I would buy a cottage on the water. 100 gazillion%. I would want to have a place to escape to. Alma said, how's your Crohn's? How's Jamie? I already answered the Crohn's question. Jamie's great. He's thriving on a welding course right now. He's got 3 weeks left and then he's in the welding union here in the city and then he's on a course after that. So he's doing great. All right, I think I'm gonna take a break answering questions. That was a lot of questions. That's like 20 some minutes of footage. There may even be a part 2 to this Q&A because it's already getting to be a lot of questions and I'm long-winded. So I'm gonna go ahead. I actually finished all my laundry. Yes, you guys, yes, slay. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna put this stuff away and then All right. Refocus. I was going to do a part 2 of this Q&A. It's just going to be long, and really only people who are interested in hearing the answers to any of these questions are going to watch this video, so I don't care. So we're going to make cookies together. I made those chocolate chip cookies the other day. I didn't make them with you guys. I just ate them with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and make it today. I'm going to double the recipe because even when I double it, it only makes 3 dozen cookies, which sounds like a lot, but in my house, when everybody's eating 3 or 4 cookies a day, and there's 4 people or at any given time in this house, they disappear quickly. So we're going to go ahead and make chocolate chip cookies. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, I have like 15 more questions to answer. I'm gonna try not to be as long-winded, sorry. Here's the recipe. This is what it's listed as on Pinterest. I have shared it in my other video, in case you guys are curious. All right, so the first thing I like to do with these cookies is I melt the butter pretty significantly. So I'm gonna drop these 2 things of margarine. I'm all out of my Baicel margarine that I bought on my grocery haul. I do prefer to bake with that, but I do have to go to Costco in the next week, so I'm gonna try their butter because somebody did mention that Costco butter was a really good price. So we're gonna check that out because I'm paying like $5 for the Baicel, so what's the difference? All right, I'm gonna answer a question while we heat this up. It says, my question is, do you plan on getting any more dogs? I prefer dogs to people. I can always find room for 1 more in my life, and I have 8, LOL. Girl, I feel that. That's a hard no. I really don't intend on getting more dogs. I love dogs, don't get me wrong. My whole life I'm like, I'm gonna have so many dogs. I just don't have the property for them, if that makes any sense. Charlie was Jamie's idea, MJ was Jamie's idea, and Roxy was Jamie's idea. I would have been happy with a smaller dog, just something more manageable in where we live, something that I can walk easily, that kind of stuff. If we lived in the country, yeah, I'd probably have 7 dogs and chickens and all of that fun stuff, but it's just not where we live. So no, I don't think we're planning on adding to the house. I would add another cat, but Jamie has severe allergies to cats, so he takes allergy medication for it, and it was his idea to get the cats too. But yeah, if we had any more cats, between all the hair that's already in this house, it would get out of control. Do you and Jamie plan to marry? No. All right, now we're gonna put in a full cup of white sugar and a half a cup of packed brown sugar. The next question says, are you gonna do any more meal videos? And what made you start your videos? So yeah, I plan on doing what's for dinner videos pretty regularly, if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about mukbangs, but if you're talking about what's for dinner videos, then yes, I do plan on maintaining them. It may not be as regular. It may be once every 2 weeks, maybe every week for a few weeks, depends on the momentum that I have when I'm cooking at home. But I'm not gonna feel the need to have to produce it, because that's not all that my channel is. I can value, you know, people like Kristen Stepp and stuff, that's their channel. It's a big part of their channel. But for me, I'm just a little different, rounded vlogs, day in the lives, all of the above. What made me start videos? I don't know. I've always had a creative... I'm just trying to do this without an electric mixer. Let's see if it works. As far as what made me start videos, I was watching a lot of YouTube, and that tends to be how I get involved in anything when I develop an interest for it, whether it was face painting, whether it was cookie decorating. There's been quite a few things that I've dabbled in my past. You know, I saw it, I decided I wanted to learn it, I did, and then I did it. So it's kind of the same thing with YouTube. I invested in a MacBook Pro, which would allow me, because when I do anything, there's a certain expectation that I have for myself. I knew that if I was going to do YouTube, I wanted to do it there was a standard that I wanted, and if I could achieve that and get it, then that'd be great. So for me, it was the editing, and I really, really enjoy creating content, but I really enjoy putting it all together. It's like you get to romanticize your life. It's kind of fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Somebody asked again, how do you like your new home? Is it all you hoped for? It is all I hoped for and more. How did you and your husband meet, and did his kids like you and your daughter, and vice versa? So, how much vanilla am I doing? I'm just throwing this in here willy-nilly. 1. I always end up putting more than I should anyway. Uh-oh, I don't think we're making any more cookies. We met, he volunteered at an organization for veterans that was educating and supporting the use of medicinal cannabis. Let me stir this and we'll get back. So yeah, Jamie worked for an organization called MFT, Marijuana for Trauma, which helped veterans who were getting out of the military or were out of the military obtain a prescription for medicinal cannabis. They really advocated for its use for PTSD, for chronic pain. Basically, when you're in the military, they really push pills. I couldn't even tell you how many. Well, I could tell you, but I'm not going to get into it. Antidepressants that I was put on. Oh, this doesn't work, try this. Oh, this doesn't work, try this. So that was just a company, and it was just a place for veterans to come together, especially who had experienced trauma. And it was a support system. There were weekly meetings, things like that. So that's how we first met. Once we ended up getting involved romantically and decided to move in together, from the very first day that I met his kids, they were extremely open to us. That's it. I'm not going to get it too much into it, actually, just because, again, they don't want to be about YouTube. But yeah, we got along great at the start. Things have evolved. And my daughter, she was 6 when we got involved, so she had just turned 6. So she was excited. You know, it was something new. I pulled her out halfway through grade 1 where we lived. We had to move an hour away here to St. John. She started a new school, all new family. She's an amazing creature, and I love her so friggin' much, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. All right, I feel like this isn't mixed as well as it is when I use a blender, but our mixer, I'm just lazy right now and I don't want to get it out. So 3 cups of flour. You seem to be pretty good at taking what life throws at you and knowing when to take time out. Has that been something you've always been good at? And I can't see the rest of the question. What have you had to learn? Yeah. So, you know, it's funny that I'm reading that question right now, because I literally just finished saying to my mom how I felt like, oh, I didn't do much today. Well, you know what? I did get my laundry folded, and I did edit a video, and I'm doing my Q&A, and I did my yoga. She's like, Vanessa, do you understand how far you've come? She's like, if this had been 4 years ago, you were struggling with what I'm struggling with, I would have been curled up in the fetal position, you know, ready to just completely give up. And I have in the past in my life given up, regrettably. That is not something I will ever choose for myself again. But she said, do you understand that, you know, we spend so much time being negative with ourselves and talking about the things that we haven't accomplished instead of focusing on what we did? And she's right. And I have come a long friggin' way, and I'm very proud of myself at this point. There's a reason why, you know, somebody commented and said you were here one day and the next you were gone, because I did take a break from creating because I needed to go inward and focus on myself. And I had a spiritual awakening, and I did realize, you know, I did a lot of work on myself, and I do know when I need to take a break now. And I think that's the most important thing that anybody can do, is to recognize what you need for your own self-care, to maintain a certain level of vibration for yourself every day. What do you need to do? How do you need to feed your soul? How do you need to feed your body? How do you need to feed your spirit? You know, like, and until we stop and actually ask ourselves those questions, chances are we're not doing it. And you think you are, but you're not. So yeah, if I had to deal with what I was dealing with right now, any other time in my life, I would be worried for myself. Today, I'm making cookies and I'm filming a Q&A with you. So I'd say, yeah, it took a lot of work and a lot of self-reflection and a lot of inner work. And oh my God, my cookies are mixed. And look at that, beautiful. All right, I'm gonna scoop my cookies out and try to get through the rest of these questions. Any plans for this year? Honestly, if you didn't notice already, my only plans for this year are to really focus on this channel. I really want to make this, you know, people make judgments about me, or I've seen boards with comments about me outside of this, you know, saying ridiculous things about me, and I don't feed into it much anymore, but there was a time when I did read those comments and they were hurtful. But yes, I am pensioned and retired, and it is medical and limited options for me for work, but I am on a fixed income, and I would like this channel to become a viable source of income for me. So if I can take, this has always been something for 3 years that has been a hobby, and I do it when I feel like it, and that's it. It still is, but I'm pushing myself a little bit harder because I do feel like I have something to offer, and I feel like I have a little bit more self-worth. For a while, I didn't value myself that way, and I didn't think that this channel was anything worth sharing or anything that anybody, why would anybody want to watch me? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here like, of course everybody wants to watch me, but I'm saying that I am focused more inward now. I am focused very much on making this channel a potential career for me. And if you follow me on Instagram or you follow me on TikTok, you can see I'm expanding and I'm trying new things and I'm trying to put myself out there. I've spent so much time hibernating and curled up in the fetal position, sad and unsure, that I'm not doing that anymore. So yeah, my plans for this year are to just really focus on growing and evolving whatever my passion is. And right now it's YouTube. 2, can you buy more groceries? I love your hauls. Girl, I just said that to my mom. I'm like, you know what? I miss when I had a budget where I could spend $400 a month at Costco. I don't have that budget anymore. It's just, that's the reality. This house that we live in, interest rates have risen astronomically. The value of my house has gone up crazy, which, okay, yeah, it's good, but not good if I'm not trying to sell it and I'm just trying to pay taxes on it, you know? So yeah, just like everybody, we've all been hit with inflation and what's going on. And no, I will be doing more grocery hauls, but they were crazy for a while because I was always running out or spending $100 here. But like this weekend I have $100 and I have to go to Costco and Walmart, and that's my budget. And I'm kind of proud of myself for sticking to that. So there will be hauls, they just won't be as elaborate. Oh, did you do anything fun during your YouTube break? Not really. Just again, lots of self-reflecting, trying to figure out what I want, what I'm trying to gain from all of this. So okay, I think I have answered all the questions that people left on a video or on my community tab. Again, I'm trying to keep them organized and it's a bit of a struggle. So if I missed any, it wasn't personal and I'm sorry. Please leave your question down below and I'll try to get back to it again. I only have a few left, but here's my cookies. I'm gonna put them in the oven. You notice the disaster? I didn't clean my kitchen yet and it's almost 12 o'clock. That's not like me. That's not like me. And this is stressing me out a little bit, but focus on one thing. Hey gorgeous, thank you. Hey gorgeous to you too. How do you cope with stress? I have many coping skills. You know that TikTok? Here's your coping skills. Unhealthily, I would eat, which is why I became quite a binge eater. I think that eating disorders stem for a lot of people because of that, because of stress. So right now, what am I doing? Because I am very stressed. I am reminding myself of the things that make me feel better, even if in the moment of doing them, they don't. Do you know what I mean? Like yoga. This morning, I did not want to do it. I did it. I feel refreshed and I was able to start filming this video because when I woke up this morning, I was not. And last night I posted and told everybody I was gonna be filming a Q&A today. And I hate when I say I'm gonna do something and wake up the next day and can't even imagine how I'm gonna pull myself up and figure that out. I am trying to, again, there are core things for me, core. Some sort of meditation. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting like this in front of my altar and doing it. Some days it's just sitting over there on the couch and turning off all electronics and just really trying to recognize, what do you want from this day? What do you want from this day? So for me, it's thinking of one word that I want to emulate today. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's kindness. Sometimes it's acceptance. Sometimes it's just love, things like that. And when I repeat those words in my head over and over, I can do that for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Of I am good. Affirmations are big for me, big, but what works for me may not work for you. Okay, like I love affirmations. Some people think that they're a crock of shit. You do you. I personally love repeating things in the mirror to myself. I talk to a phone all day. I talk to myself in the mirror. That shouldn't be a shock. But yeah, just remembering whatever it is. If it's, you know that you love the park, but even today you're like, I hate everything. I hate the park. I guarantee when you get to the park, when you're walking, when you're finished your walk, everything's gonna change. You're gonna feel so much better. So it's been pushing myself outside the comfort zones of what I think are comfortable, because I think I just wanna sit and bury myself under a blanket and be sad and eat all day and watch stupid TV. I think that's gonna make me feel better. It never does. Ever. It makes me feel worse into a spiraling motion where I do that for a week straight and then I can't pull myself out of it, and then everything I've done for the last 2 months has gone down the drain. So yeah, just write it down, have it in a book, things that make me feel good, so that when you're in that moment, you can't even think of anything, because go back to your book and see what the things that give you joy and do those things. Do those things. I'm getting so aggressive. You are an inspiration. You guys, like, you're so freaking nice. I get so many DMs and messages from you and you fuel me. Yeah, did you struggle with body dysmorphia even after your weight loss surgery? Girl, I suffer with that right now. Like I said, I went from like, oh, I hate being this skinny, to like, oh, I'm gaining weight. Like, I am already accepting my body, like I said, more than I ever have. But man, is there ever going to be a time when I look in the mirror without question Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm not even sure who I am or what I'm looking at, to be honest. It's a mind F. At my heaviest, I was 360 pounds right before I had weight loss surgery. And then my lightest that I can remember in my adult life was 118 pounds when I was so sick from my Crohn. So after weight loss surgery, I lost about 80 pounds in a year on my own. And then it started to drop drastically and I knew something was wrong. I was like, this isn't normal. I ended up with all these food aversions and yeah, it wasn't good. So my weight has fluctuated so much. I mean, if I do yoga, you see the excess skin that I have on my body. That part upsets me. My thighs I have a lot of skin on my thighs. I ended up having not an augmentation, but I had a breast lift a couple years after, or 4 years after my weight loss surgery. I guess I paid for that myself because I had tube socks. And that was really hard for me to look at myself and feel feminine and feel myself. So that's the one thing I'm glad that I did do. It's a real thing. And for people who really struggle with it, I empathize with you. I understand. Again, I'm working on that. That's part of the affirmations and the self-love and the joy and the self-care on a daily basis. I mean, I spent so many years, even in the last 6 years since I've met Jamie, focused so much on everybody else, on the kids, on him, on the house, on our finances, that I slipped through the cracks somewhere in there. And not anymore. Not a question. I love your grocery hauls. I'm so glad you're back. All right. The very last question I have, this is a fun question. Okay, girl, I'm curious about your awesome tattoos and what some of them mean to you. So this is driving me nuts, the fact that this ain't straight. Can we just talk about that for 5 seconds? Woo! So I'll take this off really quick because I just want to show you. My very first big tattoo was this one right here. So it's just it's not that well done, to be honest with you. And when I first got tattoos, man, I picked them. I'm a picker. I love scabs. I love squeezing pimples. Give me a cyst, I'll get right at that shit. So if you get tattoos, be prepared if you're a picker. Don't. I don't do it anymore, or I haven't in years, but the first few tattoos I had, anyway, so they're kind of scarred, but it's a butterfly and it's like a cherry blossom tree. Kind of cartoony. I like whimsy. I like whimsical. I don't necessarily need realistic looking. And with my daughter's name. So that is probably my most meaningful tattoo. I love this tattoo. It was a big deal. It kind of started my passion for wanting to fill up. I still have a lot of real estate. I don't want a tattoo there because I don't need to draw any more attention to it. But as far as my other tattoos, they're random. And I always say, I know people say don't get a tattoo unless it has meaning. All of my tattoos is like a timeline to my life. I know what I was feeling, where I was, what I was experiencing, and where I was emotionally at that point in my life. I have one on my back here that I love. This one means a lot to me. It says, you're allowed to scream, you're allowed to cry, but do not give up. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. And it's a maple leaf with a semicolon in it. So this is probably one of my favorite tattoos. I absolutely freaking love that tattoo. And I actually saw that I think I saw the quote on Pinterest when I got it. I'm not over here coming up with original ideas, I'm gonna be honest. But I did see that on the wall of a doctor's office not that long ago, and I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, I have this one here, which is Foxtrot 20, which is kind of phonetic for 420, which was a little company that Jamie and I were trying to start off, just a clothing brand advocating for cannabis for medicinal use for veterans or first responders, that kind of thing. Some tattoos I've gotten more recently have a little more meaning than some of my other ones. This one here, I know some people might feel offended by it. It just represents strength, femininity, sexuality, all of the beautiful things that I think are absolutely stunning. Plus I love skulls and I love kind of harder looking things, hence my chest piece that I have. I love this one. To each his own, you do you. But as far as more recently, my goddess symbol on my fingers, I absolutely love this one. My earth symbol, which is also when I flip it, it's also my moon sign or my rising sign. Yeah, there's just a few things that on my back of my neck here, I have the Om symbol. The back of my head is tattooed. I will say that is something I got in a time of a lot of pain that I was experiencing, and tattoos were taking me out of that pain. And it doesn't get much more painful than tattooing. This whole half of my head is tattooed underneath my undercut, but I'm growing my undercut out, so probably won't be seen again until I decide to shave it again. Tattoos were healing for me for quite a while. all of them. This one I absolutely love. Obviously, she's kind of cool. Oh, not yet. My sister just got hers. She got a Valkyrie. It's freaking phenomenal, and I'm so jealous. Now I want one. I have my mirror on my hand. This is my favorite kind of cannabis, pink kush, so it's pink. This clock says 420 on it. I have a lot of cannabis related tattoos. It's what it is. Yeah. This was not the exact prints, but at the time I had 2 dogs and 2 cats. I had Obi and Chewy. Chewy died when we moved to St. John. He got hit by a car. I had 2 cats actually that got hit by cars 1 year to the day apart from each other when we moved to St. John. Both that came with me from Ormukto. You know when you feel like there's a lot of signs that the universe is throwing at you? And maybe you were destined for something else? I'm feeling those signs lately. And Rex and Pixie, those were my 2 dogs. Rex is with my ex-husband. He's still alive, but I have a feeling he probably won't make it through this year. Pixie died a couple of years ago. She was the cutest little black pug. Yeah. Going through a separation with animals is very difficult, very difficult. You know, there was never a question of who was gonna get my daughter. Me. I'll fight you to the ground for it. But for some reason there was more of a fight for the dog. Anyway, I actually answered all of those questions. This is going to be a 40-minute video. It's going to be like the old days. And also these cookies are really starting to piss me off, pardon my French, because we know I'm trying to do better on that. I'm trying not to be swearing a lot. You know, nobody wants to sponsor somebody who's swearing a lot. But yeah, these cookies aren't spreading. So the next ones I put on this tray, I'm going to smush a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to finish cooking my cookies and I'll show you what they look like. See, they're not even sinking on the sheet. I think it's because I didn't put the baking soda in. I forgot and did it after, but they still look really good. I kind of like that they didn't fall. They look like little ice cream scoops of cookie. Let's try one. Let's just try one. Come on. Oh God, they're delicious. Actually, I was just, okay, hang on. I was just checking on my video because I just posted my what I eat in a sad day video. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. It's not as long as this one, so you can do it. Somebody commented at the top because I said, what do I do about this? Like, it's starting to get to me because they used to lay a little bit more flat and I could just kind of like, I don't know. That's not too bad. If I could just hide them. This is my undercut growing out, okay? Because I have hair underneath that goes to there, underneath all of this hair, which barely fits. It fits in my ponytail now. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. She said, put a little bit of static guard on a comb or a brush and brush it through your hair. And I'm like, really? So maybe, I don't know, a bounce sheet? Something's got to work. I see you can get those things. They look like mascara ones, but I feel like eventually it wouldn't and it would just stick up straight. So I guess we're just gonna endure it. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna do these dishes, finish making my cookies, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna film a little doing the dishes segment. Now I'm just gonna shut it down. I'm pretty proud that I even made it this far into the day, vlogging or whatever this was, Q&A. And I'm just gonna tidy up the kitchen, do my floors so that I can have that peace, because as much as I do not, like we were just talking about, I do not want to do it right now. I want to go over there, sit on my computer, watch YouTube. I have a podcast to watch. I just want to zone out. I can do those things and I will feel better about doing those things, and I will feel better after doing those things if I know that these things are done and they're not looking me in the face after I do the other things I enjoy. So, like I said earlier, do the things. All right, you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for those of you who left questions. Like I said, if I didn't get to it, please leave it down below. And yeah, I'm glad that you're on this journey with me, because it is a journey. It's been a journey. I think I've been doing YouTube for almost 3 years now, or has it been 3 years now? I started in October of 2019. Oh shit, it's been over 3 years. Well, look at me. I did take, a good 6 or 7 months off, but I'm back, and in whatever capacity I'm here, the fact that you guys are here for me and just want to follow along with me, it actually means so freaking much. Just so much that you care about me like that. So I care about you too. I just thought you should know that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend because chances are this is going to go up on Friday. And yeah, I love you all so stinking much. Grocery haul coming, all the good old stuff. All right. Take care, guys.
Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me.